Hey guys, welcome back to Cinema with Jahari, and today I'm going to be doing my top 10 worst movies of 2024. Now, these are the movies this year that I thought were terrible. I did not like these at all. I would not rewatch them. Yeah, so today we're going to start off with the worst, and then later on I'm going to post the best movies of this year. So let's get into today's video. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Borderlands. Man, I had so much faith in this movie. I did not like this movie at all. First off, you have so many great talented actors. You have Jamie Lee Curtis, you have Kevin Hart, you have Jack Black, you have so many big names in this movie. And you thought maybe they'll be good. Not really. Not really. And I was shocked to say that. I'm shocked to even say that because I love most of the actors that I just named. Those three actors I just named, and boy, video game adaptations doesn't do very well. We do get some good ones. We got like Sonic. We got the Mario movie. We have some good, very good video game movies. This is not one of them. I do not like this movie at all. I would not rewatch it at all. And it's just the fact that it's kind of dull. It drags very badly, and I don't like movies that drag. So coming in at number 10 is gonna be Borderlands. Coming in at number 9 is gonna be The Crow. Now I really enjoyed the original Crow. I thought it's a pretty good movie, but I thought this movie was gonna be. I didn't have faith in it that much, but I thought, okay, maybe this might be it's so bad it's good type of movie, or maybe even better. Maybe it wasn't. Um, this remake had big shoes to fill, and unfortunately, it tripped over its own feet. Here's why: the story just narrative felt hollow compared to the original. While it tried to modernize certain elements, it lost the emotional core that made the original so impactful. Just the love story, it felt very rushed and undeveloped here. The casting performances, they weren't terrible, but it they didn't do as good as Brandon Lee brought to Eric. Just the movie just felt like the characters were just like so edgy and giving them real emotional depth. Just the movie was just it was such a big disappointment. I don't know why I didn't have it on my top five disappointing, but I should have had it on there because it kind of was. But easily the worst movie of coming in at number 9 is going to be The Crow for the worst movie of 2024. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire comes in at number 8. I was really a big champion of Ghostface Afterlife. I really was very surprised how much I really enjoyed that movie. It was a nice surprise that year. Despite the potential of its supernatural premise, the film fails to capture the magic of the Ghostface franchise. The story is very weak and predictable, lacking the charm, humor that made the original film so iconic. The characters, both old and new, feel undeveloped, and the film struggles to balance nostalgia with fresh ideas. Just the movie overall wasn't very good. I mean, you have a good cast here, all right. Some are not very good. I really love. I'm a very big fan of Finn Wolfhard. I love him since Stranger Things, It, and yeah, I did like him kind of a little bit. I did like him, but other than that, the movie is just it's just a cheap cast grab to make a lot of money. He didn't bring nothing new to the table. It was a major disappointment, and it comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is going to be Joker 2. Joker 2, this one was very heartbreaking. Despite the success of the first movie, which I highly enjoyed, this sequel completely misses the mark. The story feels redundant. It lacks the depth of the original that made the first Joker movie very good. On top of that, they make it a musical, a comic book musical. Really? Really? Mm-mm. Nah. I really like musicals. Not my comic book movies. Not my action movies. I don't. Nope. Just the movie has so many flaws I could get into. The story feels cliche. It falls into the cliche territory. The film struggles to live up to the dark, gritty tone of its first movie, of its predecessor. It just feels very forced and uninspired. Just the movie's just overall just not a very good movie. It's not near as bad as the comic book movies they're gonna get into later, but it's certainly not a good one, and it comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is gonna be, man, another comic book movie, Them: The Last Dance. Yeah, not a very good year for comic book movies, except for maybe a few. This movie has so much potential. The first Venom movie is okay, it's fine. The second movie, I'm not the biggest fan of. And when I saw this movie, I thought it was going to be like, okay, maybe this movie can be actually kind of good. It wasn't. It very falls flat with a convoluted plot, a dull character development. I do like Tom Hardy's performance as Venom, and I do like the character here. They do some good stuff with Venom, sort of. Besides that, it's just another movie that I feel like it's a cheap cash grab. Like, they trying to expand the Spider-Man villainverse in this year, and they did a poorly, horrible job at it. It is not as egregious as the other two, but this movie isn't very good either. It's kind of like a mediocre, okay, bad movie. So that's why I had it in the middle. I had to put it right here in the middle. It comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Megamind versus the Doom Sadek, I think. Yeah. The only animated film I really did not care for this year. I really loved the first Megamind. That was a very underrated gem. I always rewatch that movie. I love the original Megamind. I had some faith in it. When I heard it came to Peacock, I got a little less happy. When I saw it, I was completely upset at this movie. I cannot believe how bad this movie was. It was poorly made. Don't like the animation. DreamWorks have made some very standout movies lately, but this is not one of them. I do not like this movie at all. First off, they don't bring back Will Ferrell as Megamind, which was a huge red flag for me, and I feel like the voice actor doesn't do a very good job of voicing Megamind. He's not as great as Will Ferrell. I do not like this movie at all. Yeah, I had it above. Yeah, it's kind of odd that this is the only animated film on the worst list, but yeah. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Megamind 2. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Dear Santa, another movie that I talked about on my most disappointing movies. Yeah, I'm talking about it again. Like I said, do not like this movie at all. I thought that Jack Black being in this movie was like a good choice. I love Jack Black. I really love this guy. He's one of my favorite comedians. And I thought the premise of this movie was okay, interesting. Like I said, the trailers look a little kind of messy, but I thought maybe this movie would be like a pretty good movie. I thought it might be like the Red One. It was very good, and a nice surprise. This movie was the total opposite. I thought this movie was not very good written. Jack Black is just doing his Jack Black thing. They told him just be yourself, and he did. And I don't think that he did a very good job. I love Jack Black, but I did not like him in this movie. I'm sorry. I don't like kid actors. That's my age, but I did not like what they did in the movie either. Just the overall, and I do not like what they did with some of the stuff. I don't want to get into it, but I don't like the message at all. This movie will never be a movie I watch on the holidays. Never. So this movie comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 as the third worst movie of this year is going to be Imaginary. Now, I know a lot of people don't hate it as much as I do. I mean, I don't hate it. Well, I strongly don't like it. But what edges this movie out from being the worst is because the two movies that are above this one are wholeheartedly egregious. But I am not a fan of this movie. Listen, I love these possession toy stuff because I love Chucky, the Child's Play franchise. That's like the best example of killer toy stuff, and I do like some of the Annabelle movies. So going into this movie, Imaginary, don't like it at all. Blumhouse has been failing right now. Do not like Halloween Ends. Don't like The Exorcist Believer. This movie is on that streak from one of those movies I really do not like. This movie really relies on so many jump scares after jump scares, and this movie is kind of the guys who did Megan and Five Nights at Freddy, and I do like those movies quite a bit. Not the biggest champion of them, but I do like them. So I thought this movie was just gonna be okay at best, and it was the opposite. Do not like this movie at all. I would not tell people to go watch it. I just tell people just go in for your lowest. Go in, watch it at home on your lowest day, and just expecting nothing but the worst. Because this movie is just a gigantic waste of my time, and it comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, man, these two were very hard to tie. Each of them are absolutely trash. Both of these movies are abysmal. Coming in at number 2 is going to be Madam Web. This movie, what else can you say about Madam Web? This movie had a lot of potential. They wasted it. First off, I feel like that the character is very uninteresting. I feel like what they do with the story is weak. It has a weak plot. Very weak plot. At first, I was like, okay, maybe they should expand this. Maybe you should do something. Because I was very excited about the Spider-Man villain verse. And like I said, Morbius kind of brought things down. And when this movie came out, I was like, man, this movie makes Morbius look like one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. How bad this movie is. This movie is horrible. I mean, just talk about a total zero fire of a movie. And I feel like Dakota Johnson doesn't do her best in this movie. I feel like she doesn't do it good at all. I'm just getting tired of Sony with these horrible villainverse movies, and I feel like that Them The Last Dance isn't as near as bad as Madam Web, but it's still not the worst movie of the year. It came very, very close of getting the number one spot, because I would say these two are actually kind of tied, but one really made things a little slightly worse. So this movie is absolutely horrible. Do not buy this movie or rent it. Just, if you saw it back in February, just watch that one time. Don't revisit this movie. This movie is absolutely horrible. And it comes in at number 2. And coming in at number 1 has the absolutely worst movie of 2024. Is going to be Kraven the Hunter. Wow. This movie. Wow. This movie has, like I said, had some potential. Actually, not really, because I hated Madam Web. Then The Last Dance did not really care for that much, but didn't hate it as much as Madam Web. I thought this movie was going to be maybe at least better. Worse. Slightly worse. Like I said, these movies were very tied, but what made Kraven the Hunter worse was how lazy the script was. I hate movies that have lazy scripts and not very good character development. I love Kraven as a villain. He's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. Like, he was in the Spider-Man 2 video game, and I love him in that. He was one of the best parts of that video game. I was like, okay, a Kraven the Hunter movie. We just got him in Spider-Man 2, but I was like, okay, I'm interested. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the villain verse, but I'm actually intrigued about this one. Man, this movie sucks. Man, I do. What were they doing with this movie? Really, what were they going for? I feel like the guy who plays Craven, I feel like he does what he could. He did, but the lines he delivered are kind of cringe-worthy. Man, I don't understand. What was Sony going for with this movie? When Craven the Hunter came out, I was like, okay, I'm done with Sony with these villain verse movies. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm tired. I don't want them to do no more, and they completely solidified that. Madden Web, I was kind of saying that a little bit. Them, The Last Dance, I was still saying that, but I was like, okay, maybe they can redeem themselves. They did not. I'm just tired of Sony right now. I'm not interested in what they're doing with the Villainverse anymore. Just, okay. This movie really angered me the most, and he solidified that. And coming in at number 1 is going to be Kraven the Hunter as the worst movie of 2024. Okay. Alright, thank you for watching today's video. Have a look out for my top 10 best movies of 2024 later on today. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I hope you guys have a great New Year. I hope next year will be a great year for comic book movies, because this year was kind of abysmal. But yes, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my first video today. I will see you guys in a couple hours. Peace.